Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about the videos I did regarding my narcissist mother. And the reason why I made those videos. Now first off, thanks for all of your comments. Yes. That was truly a difficult time in my life. And sadly the things that happened in these videos were commonplace. It seemed like such things were happening all the time. To the point where it was sadly the norm. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just go back and watch all 4 of the short videos before this one and you will understand. Now that being said, the main reason, and this is important, the main reason why I made those videos is to spark the mind of someone that had such a thing happen to them. And they think they are literally alone. You see, I've watched so many videos of other YouTubers on the subject of narcissistic abuse in relationships. And growing up in a narcissistically abusive home. With either a narcissist mother. Or father. Or both. And they all for the most part say how their lives were changed by the testimony of others. Others telling their sad and horrible stories of abuse. And then how they explained what they did to do the self-work. To at least attempt to walk down the road of self-betterment. You see, when a problem is kept quiet and hidden in the dark, these narcissists thrive and can take advantage of such conditions. Because they know the victim feels isolated and confused. And as long as the victim is feeling this way, the narcissist can keep control over them to gain their narcissistic supply. However, once the victim realizes there are others out there just like him or her, the cat is then out of the bag. And the person that was once a victim can go down that road and process of becoming a survivor. Now the other part of this is, one commenter mentioned, and sorry to paraphrase, that if such a thing happened to them, like what happened to me, at such a young age, in these video examples, they would have been extremely confused. Especially at that age. And yes, they are right. I was indeed confused. And that was always the goal of my narcissist mother. And the goal of the narcissist in your life. Especially if you are the victim of a narcissist as a parent when you were a young child. And realizing why this is so important for you to understand. As I've mentioned so many times. Is that you just didn't know better. You were a kid. And you learned all of your social skills and social understanding from crazy people. Of course you were going to make a lot of life mistakes. And because of such things. From me to you. Please be patient with yourself. I've mentioned this before. But it's something that needs to be repeated. And repeated. And repeated. Because it's so easy to get down on oneself. Man, I wish I did this instead of that. Boy oh boy. I sure acted like a knucklehead during this or that situation. Or I really put my foot in my mouth when I said such and such. And instead of saying such things or feeling so negative about yourself, you can acknowledge where things went wrong. You can backwards engineer your behavior as I've mentioned before. So you have an understanding as to why you behaved in such a way. And then you can put together a plan so you won't repeat the same mistakes again. And if you slip up, you go back to the drawing board and you try again. But you can look upon your past not as one big excuse, but as a reason why things in your life must change. And for you to be patient with yourself during this process. In these instances, I always think about the patience the Most High God has with all of us. Regarding our development. Just think if He would have given up on us. But He didn't. And we are still here. Growing. Making mistakes. And bettering ourselves. But we can't make this happen if we stay stuck. Because when we stay stuck the devil wins. It allows the devil to heap guilt into our lives. Because the devil knows. Growing up in a crappy, narcissistically abusive home oftentimes creates poor behavior and weird thinking. If that makes sense. In the person that suffered it. There are many. And I mean many things I said and did as an adult that I look back on in cringe. I just cringe. But when those things were happening, I wasn't fully awake. Now some of these life situations I did feel embarrassed over. But I didn't know how to correct it. Because I wasn't able to backwards engineer my life. Because I still thought I was alone and was in self-blame and shame mode. But when I started to read and hear about others' stories, then a video would pop up here and there. I started to realize. Wait a minute. I'm not alone here. Now. It's not my intent to make a video or videos like that for the purpose to make people feel depressed or upset. Though it might happen. But wait a second. When I think about it, to a degree it is okay to be upset and righteously angry. So much so. You are willing to make a positive change. Because without an example like these, how are there going to be others out there that will know they aren't alone? How are these others out there going to break the brainwashing? It can't all be fluff and good stuff. Sometimes seeing the ugly side of things, of where one is currently at or where they've been, is important. So then they aren't so confused when they are brought into the light. So they can truly understand what's going on. So they can truly heal. Wow. I can't believe this happened to someone else. Do you mean I'm not alone? Let me find out more. And when they start to find out more, they get the message of self-love, self-betterment, and the fact God didn't make a mistake in them. They aren't junk. They are special. And they are created in the Most High God's image. As you were. They get the message of being good to themselves as they are to others. They get the message on how to create and keep up boundaries. And they get the message on how to do this without being paranoid. As I've mentioned before. Though I went through all of what you've seen and much more. And though I know there are many evil people in the world, I'm still out there shaking hands, smiling, and talking to complete strangers. I still and will always know. Though there is bad out there, there is still good. And I'm not going to let what my mother or any other person did to me completely destroy my life. Though I have my rough days and down days like everyone here has had and will have in the future at times, I try to remind myself. As I want you to remind yourself. Wait a minute here. I'm a unique creation from the Most High God. Why am I letting this get the best of me? And when I see my situation play back in my mind, or in a video like the ones I just made, I feel that righteous anger. And I pray for strength to get up and get out there and keep smiling. And not let these things ruin my life. And that's the message I want you and others to take. I've had teachers treat me far worse. Far worse than what you witnessed with Gary's father. In how he treated me when I was a child in that video regarding my mother. I've heard so many put-downs and was exposed to really mean treatment. As I'm sure you've had. And yes. It was and is soul-crushing. And yes. If I didn't have faith in God. With Him constantly whispering in my ear to get up. Get up, James. It's not over. I made you, James. You are special. You have to get out there and help others. But in the process help yourself. You're worth it, James. Boy oh boy. I would have folded like a house of cards. But I didn't. And I didn't let it take my joy of having the personality and love in my heart that I have. Now am I more careful in life? Yes. You must be aware of what you say and do. And who you surround yourself with. But you don't need to be paranoid. You shouldn't let it rob you of your joy. And your love. The love the Most High God put into you and your life. Now will I make more flashback videos. Of things regarding my mother. Susie. And other situations. Yes. I will. As they come to me to do. I will. Because I know their importance. The importance for me to continue to understand myself better. while I'm on this journey we call life. But also, the importance to spark the mind of someone that thinks they are alone. These type of videos here on YouTube are powerful. And that's one of the many reasons why the demons in this world have a short time. Not the only reason, but one of them. Because no longer are the people out there that were affected by this mess are in the dark and in a fog. And those are things that narcissistic demons hate. Because when you are wise, the game is up. It's over. They can't get any more narcissistic supply from you. And that's the name of the game. Narcissistic supply. It's time you increase as they shrink. It's time your brilliance shines and their evil fades into nothingness. And it's time we not only learn what real love for others is about, but love for ourselves. With that being said, let's keep praying for wisdom. Let's keep praying for strength. And as always, bye for now. And be good to yourself.